Hi, this message is for Scott Kelly. This is Celeste Patton. My callback number 541-613-6898. I've called a few times, hoping to talk with you directly, sir, and have not yet had the courtesy of a return call by you. Considering what I went through as a result of some terrible mistakes at the hands of your medical staff, as well as the officers, as well as the advocates, the list just goes on and on. But the fact of the matter is, what your facility, not only was I not given any of my victims' rights that I'm afforded through the state of Oregon and the Constitution. I mean, I was refused my SANE exam. They didn't even finish that. It is a terrible, terrifying nightmare that I will never, ever, ever get over. I now have severe complex PTSD and Stockholm Syndrome. I'm 100% disabled after working in the stock market for 17 years. Some things went terribly wrong, to say the least. But, to be handcuffed and shackled as a rape victim, how am I supposed to have my SANE exam and get my rapist DNA, off of me? I didn't even get to get his semen off of me, sir, until I was illegally incarcerated in the SHU-1, where I finally was able to shower. They stopped that SANE exam. Then they, again, who am I going to hurt? Even if I was being a bit abrasive with my language, I was terrified for my life. Then they forced that involuntary chemical sedation on me of Haldol, Ativan, and Benadryl. Very hefty dose, not even FDA approved unless you're schizophrenic. I remember them coming towards me with those 2 vials of sedation agents in hand. I was pleading, crying out, and again, handcuffed and shackled, not going to hurt anyone. And then they just, against my will, forced that on me. And, to then be completely rendered incoherent. I have no recollection for hours and days after that. It was such a heavy dose. I was released in that condition. I can't, if you have a heart, you could feel a little bit of my pain. Can you imagine if this was your wife or your daughter or your sister or mother or released completely incoherent? I don't care how authoritative those officers that were lying at the foot of my bed as a rape victim, all these men, and just horrific, but, all in their nice uniforms and guns and badges and things. Their authority does not trump those doctors' licenses and their need to care for me as the patient, as the victim. I'll have you know that I got back in the vehicle with my rapist because of the way things went so terribly wrong there at the hospital, and then all of the nonsense follow. But I got an almost confession from that man, because I was not going to have there be any I's not dotted, any T's not crossed. So God gave me the strength to get back in, and this time with a camera rolling, and got nearly a confession from my rapist that was responsible for my rape that night when I was in your facility, sir. So then handcuffed, shackled, forced that involuntary chemical sedation, released incoherent to these officers. I would like to know, where was my body? Until I finally, on paperwork, resurfaced at the basement of the Jackson County Jail, a very innocent woman, being interviewed by Detective Tony Young, and he writes in his own report, incoherent. So he doesn't even interview me, and he sends it on to the district attorney for prosecution. Excuse me. I was a foster parent with Jackson County for 10 years. I was a billet parent with the hockey team for 7 years. My daughter, Victoria Lynn McInnes, who graduated Cascade Christian High School as their cheer captain, went on to be their cheer coach, and, sir, one of the finest employees Asante will ever know. Yes, sir, she was with me, sir, when we were asked to go visit a lady and her new baby at Providence Medical Center. I was asked. All officers had to do is pull the perimeter footage outside of 62 and Violence and see me get into the vehicle with the woman who asked me. You would think that the 2 people that would be very important to interview in such a situation like this would be myself, right, and the lady that asked me, Tina. Neither of us were even interviewed, neither of us. Isn't that ironic that the only person that was interviewed was my ex-husband, Victoria's father, my very violent ex-husband and rapist, Rick McInnes. I can't, and this is all in print. And so because your hospital released me incoherent, because I was tortured there, because of all these things, I was never even given the opportunity to make a statement and explain. Of course we were asked. Of course we went to visit. There weren't even any babies there, sir. Are you aware of that? You should read these officers' reports. One says a 1-day-old, one says 6-month-old, one says, they go all like the Three Stooges all over the place. Newsflash. I can tell you, there were no babies there. That's what the nurse at the birthing center told us. We don't have any new babies. And I said, maybe the gal gave us the wrong facility. We'll sit on the bench. She doesn't show up, we'll leave. That's exactly what we did, sir. One of your employees and myself. You tell me things did not go terribly wrong, but instead of you guys doing your due diligence before you send out flyers alarming staff and all of Jackson, you'd be amazed how effective those were, sir. To a very innocent, incoherent rape victim that you now have all of Jackson County in fear for. You should see what some of your own staff writes and blogs and things, talking about whipping me with horses' tails and whips and punching my face. And I understand that the community was scared, as they should have. This was horrific to put something out like this. You might as well say that there was attempted murder or something amongst us. But the fact that I was innocent, and then to try and come to your facility when I had a stroke. So I had a stroke driving circles around your facility because of the way I was treated when I would come back there in an emergency situation when I needed to be seen. I was on the phone with the district attorney trying to talk myself into going into your facility and had a stroke. And I was paralyzed on the left side of my body for a temporary period and with the inability to speak. Could have taken my life. Sir, I'm telling you all of this to say I would like to see something good from this. I'm a Christian. My daughter's a Christian. Just had my first grandson. I would like something positive to come from this tragic situation that almost cost me my life. Physically, and it has taken my life in every other sense. I've had no life. I've rather existed about 7 years now. Not only did I have that robbed from me, but also tortured during that whole time. You can't imagine. You can't imagine. Every home I've had either stolen or destroyed, every vehicle stolen. And the beatings, 2 rapes now, forced sodomy, sexual assault, physical assault. I can't make this stuff up. But people think they could do whatever they want to a woman who, according to the news report and all of the nonsense, says attempted to kidnap a baby. When all I did was let her know that I had been a foster parent with Jackson County. My licenses were in my wallet on my person. Do you think officers asked even? No. They said, no, you were just going to try and steal a baby. You weren't a foster parent, Patton. You should read the reports. They say, and Patton was rambling on something about foster parent or law enforcement. Yeah, no, I wasn't rambling. I did test with the sheriff's department. I got a 3.45 on my ORPAT. That was going to be my second career. I wasn't rambling. I was a foster parent with Jackson County for 10 years. These officers were so flippant and because they were trying to cover for one of their own, because I had been physically assaulted by Sheriff Nathan Sickler, and that's the truth on video. He's now destroyed those videos. I've just got off the phone with the Ombudsman for the Freedom of Information Act. This is much deeper, much bigger than you could ever fathom, but your role that you played was detrimental. I would like to see college funds set up for kiddos that are in need. I would like to, my daughter now is going to be able to stay home with baby. I would like to see their insurance covered. I would like to, some different things. I don't want another lawsuit, ACLU, everyone, of course, the medical board, I'm tired. And I want to be a part of this community of vital, just like I'd always been. With South Valley Wealth Management, with Ameriprise Financial, LPL Financial, 17 years in the market, and then I was going into law enforcement. And then had a hand in raising 28 kiddos, and I gave back my whole entire adult life and raised my daughter to do the same. Things went terribly wrong. I'd like to see good come from this. I'd like to obviously something needs to be done about this. This was something tragic, and I don't want it to ever happen to anyone again. So a very bold statement needs to be made, but I don't think we need to go big and loud and public, and I want to see something good, but I don't want to just be ignored either because, your facility played their role, and your facility played their role, and I need to hear back from you, sir. 541-613-6898. Thank you.